One question which comes up very often and people ask me is, why am I not a paid influencer? So I'm not a paid influencer in financial services particularly, because I think financial services is a very dynamic place. So I've spent 20 years talking about how term insurance is the best thing that you can buy, and I still do believe that term insurance is the best thing that you can buy from an insurance company, or perhaps the only thing that you can buy from an insurance company. However, after having spent such a long time talking about term insurance, now I'm aghast that the insurance companies have come out with a product which is called term insurance with return of premium. Not that it did not exist 20 years ago, but now there is a greater thrust because of people like us having said that term insurance is the best. So when a person goes to buy a term insurance, he says, Acha, this is better because it's term insurance with return of premium. As far as I'm concerned, it is the worst product that you can buy. You should never touch term insurance with return of premium, because it locks you into one company and you cannot change the service provider, right? So tomorrow if you don't want that product, you will still have to pay, because you're hoping that some money will come back, right? Adjusted for inflation, it may not mean much, but the fact that you have paid maybe 3x of what you would have paid, it means you have paid too much for the product, right? Now similarly, we've spent a lot of time talking about why index funds are the best for you if you don't want to use too much of your brain and don't want to use your time, and you are not sure whether the fund manager how will perform, etc. So which is the best place to invest? It's an index fund. Now comes the dynamism of the great industry. If you see internationally, so many index funds or indices funds, whatever you want to call them, are available that you will be shocked, right? So there can be a large cap index fund, there can be a mid cap index fund, there can be a small cap index fund, there could be a flexi cap index fund. What are we trying to achieve? I have no clue, right? Then can be equal weighted index fund, then there can be a leveraged index fund, which is not allowed in India, which means if you put 1 rupee, they will borrow 3 rupees and they will buy shares, right? So of course they can lose money, but it's leverage. So if it goes up by X, if the market goes up X, this is likely to go up 2X or 3X. Well, minus the interest cost, minus the risk. So if I had told you that go and invest in an index fund, you will now call me back and say, but what is this dynamic index fund? What is this equal weighted index fund? That is confusion, right? So it is impossible as an influencer to decide on which product you will endorse and which product you will not influence. So you just generally then say, oh, I will endorse mutual funds, I'll endorse insurance companies, I'll endorse banking. Herein comes the problem. These are all dynamic businesses where things change, and having recommended one product from one company, and if the company changes something in that product, I'm stuck with it, right? I cannot then go and say I can't uninfluence what I've earlier influenced. That is too risky. So I don't want to influence a brand, I don't want to influence a product, I don't want to influence a personality, I don't want to recommend a financial advisor, because I do not know what that financial advisor does. For example, I used to get leads and I used to give it to somebody, and that person filled it up with fund houses which I just don't care. I would not even touch those kind of fund houses. Now, if that happens, it's very scary for me. So even recommending a financial advisor, I don't know, some people do it very bravely. I will not do, because to me it's very scary. I don't want to be an influencer and tell you that Subra has endorsed this financial advisor. What I do is I give the leads to financial advisors and say, look, this is open to you, this has got nothing to do with me. And then it is up to them whether for the client and for the IFA or the MFD, as they are now called, whether they want to work. And when I see disaster happening, I had to pull back my hand and said, no, I will not be able to recommend also unless I'm very sure what that person is going to do. And I don't have the wherewithal to do so much of due diligence. So Endorsing a product, like for example, if I were running a travel blog, then I can say, okay, Pench is a good place to visit. This is how you get to Pench, and this is the hotel in which I stayed. I like the food and I like the driver. They took us out. We saw a tiger, did not see a tiger. I can do that. How much are you risking? 30,000-40,000 rupees on a vacation. You may go there, you may not like the place, you may not like the food, you may not have found the correct driver. Anything is possible. I can afford to do that, but I don't want to be an influencer in financial products where people go and can put say 50,000 a month for say 30-year product. That is a huge amount of money. You're talking of 5-6 crores at the end of the period. You're not talking of a small amount of money. So he could lose, and because it's again a dynamic thing. I've told you this fund is a very good fund, and I find that as soon as the fund gets popular, the costs have gone up. I told you it's a good fund because it was a nice 2,000 crore fund with low charges. Now suddenly I find that the AUM has gone up, the fund manager is not able to pay enough attention, and they've increased the costs, right? If these things happen, it's a dynamic thing, right? It will keep changing. This is scary. If I am an influencer, I want to be able to say, I want to be able to make statements like the sun rises in the east, because if you're watching this video in Japan, in Maharashtra, in USA, in Canada, in Saudi Arabia, it doesn't matter. The sun rises in the east. I cannot say markets won't go down. Markets will go down. Markets will go up. Markets will be dynamic. Markets will be fluctuating. Markets will be volatile. All those things will happen. At this point of time, I can even tell you what I am doing, but it may not be suitable at all for you, because I may be wanting to sell that particular share after 15 years or after 12 years, right? And you may want to sell it after 2 years. So it is almost impossible, even if I share with you what I am doing with my money, whether you will be able to do it. And there is absolutely no proof that I have always got it right? So you cannot copy. And therefore, what is the big point in being an influencer? What you can do, if you ask me, is create investment clubs around your house. It could be online, right? Like go to Facebook or Reddit or somewhere and create your own groups. And within that group, you could talk and discuss, etc. Even there, you do not know which stranger is there, what that stranger is doing, right? You can only guess. So that is something which you can do. Instead of saying, oh, Subra has endorsed this product. I will never endorse any product, because even the best product, I do not know whether you understand it exactly the way I want you to understand. I've always said this, there can be fantastic diagnosis, there can be super prescription, but the skill lies in the implementation. So whether I'm a doctor, so assuming I'm a doctor and I'm a gastro specialist, I can do a diagnosis and say, this is what you should be eating, this is what you should be eating at this time, finish your dinner at 6 o'clock in the evening or 6:30 in the evening. I can prescribe that, right? I cannot control the implementation. You say, no, yesterday was a business meeting, I had dinner at 9:30 or 11 or whatever, right? I can't control the implementation. So if I can't control the implementation, becoming an influencer is of no great use, right? So it's very scary also to influence some products, some companies, because you like the current set of values that this company stands for, because of the current MD. When that MD goes away, I don't know what will happen. MD could drop dead, MD could resign, MD could get promoted within the group or something like that, and that MD is missing. I do not know whether the culture of the organization would be the same. So becoming an influencer is a huge problem. I do not know how you are going to react to my being an influencer. I do not know how I am going to react to, because I'm an influencer, I will not criticize that product. All those things come into play. Even when I'm doing training for a company, I keep wondering whether it is okay to talk about their products. Therefore, I don't talk about products. If you have a question about a product, it is your advisor that you have to go to, not the influencer. I can influence any product, right? So I hope I have said very clearly as to why I don't want to be a paid influencer. I may still be an influencer. I may still be influencing people to buy a term insurance or a index fund or something. Maybe people have bought term insurance with return of premium because of this, but at least I don't have to sit on that guilt because I did not recommend that product, right? Thank you.